Well, welcome everybody to our Directors Workshop. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join Bivette and I. You know, with our Directors Workshops, we do try to bring you different topics each week that's going to help support your success. So we'll go really quickly because I know you guys are very familiar with the format, but for today's workshop, we are bringing two topics to the table. One is something that, you know, we are starting to see a challenge with, and then the second one is something that we want to talk to you about that we're going to be releasing pretty soon. So we will continue. Obviously, if you need a certificate of completion for the training, you get it in the replay. And today's workshop, Viv, take it away.
All right. Our problem of practice is we're getting back to business as usual. Whatever we're going to define usual as, but we're getting back to business. So the problem of practice right now is, I mean, it's mammoth, but we got to chunk this thing down. What do you need to do? What are you focusing on right now? And in step-by-step fashion, we're going to boil these down to some, probably the most, I wouldn't say most important, but some logical items step-by-step to take care of as we get back to business as usual. So the question is, you know, how are you getting back to business? And what do you need to do? And what's your focus right now? And one of the things I'm getting at is your focus right now what you need to do? Or are you focusing on something else that you could do more easily or delegate? Or do you need some refocus to get back to business as usual? So let's, I know, Laura, you said you're back in the office and things are going on. What's that feeling like to you to want to get back to business as usual? What would that look like for you right now?
Nothing looks usual right now, Pam.
No, not usual. We're redefining usual for sure.
Absolutely. And it's so funny. I'm like, if somebody says new normal to me one more time, I'm going
yeah.
But I've started to really embrace the term new normal, because if we don't embrace the new normal and we just try to get back to where we were, I mean, we're just going to be beating ourselves against the head. Mm-hmm. So we're focusing on the children's social emotional health more than anything right now.
Okay.
Which is not as difficult as it sounds, because in Massachusetts, managers aren't supposed to be circulating the building and getting into classrooms.
Really?
Right. Nobody is really seeing me right now, except I'll call the classrooms to say hello. However, I'm getting a lot of phone calls each day from parents who are just feeling so disconnected right now, because parents can't come in the building either. We have a little drop off. We call it our hug and go station out front.
Oh, that's so cute.
Like that hug and go.
Didn't make it up. I borrowed it from somebody, and when I tried to give her credit, she had borrowed from somebody as well. So anybody can go station. And the parents, we tempt the children by the thermometer, the touchless, and there's a questionnaire that the parents fill out, and then our staff are taking turns being runners, taking children to and from the classrooms. Same thing in reverse in the afternoon, just without a tent. So people are really in their own little spaces right now. There's not a lot of collaboration. There's not a lot of interaction. So whereas I had concentrated on safety and sanitation and protocol, now the children seem to be really resilient and doing much better than adults at the moment. And I want to make sure that I'm looking out for the social emotional health of families and my teachers.
Okay.
So I don't know if I answered the question, but that's kind of—
You answered the question perfectly. What are your, how many approximately staff do you have online each day in the building?
Back, we recalled from furlough about 20 women. Our operating capacity right now has been all but slashed in half by the state. So my nice, very spacious, very open preschool rooms that previously held 20 children with 2 teachers are now 10.
10 with 1 or 10 with 2? They didn't change the ratio, just the group size, max size? Okay.
Yeah, the max size they changed, and the amount of square footage per child. Okay. So in some of my rooms, like my infant rooms, where theoretically I could have 7 children, I can only have 6 because those rooms aren't as big, and I need 42 square foot square feet per child now as opposed to 35.
Okay, so
So-
square foot dependent. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's some big changes that you probably have been focusing on already, just getting, like you said, the sanitation, safety, security, social, I don't even know if we can call it social distancing at school, but let's just call it safety and security. And now a switch to the social emotional needs of your children, your parents, and your staff. Okay.
Yeah, the kids seem to be doing better than the staff, and the staff are doing well, but I just want to give that extra attention, which is difficult since I'm not in there. But
Right, right. Aretha, how are you doing?
I have to unmute her.
Aretha might have stepped away.
There you go. I unmuted you, Aretha.
Oh, unmute it. Okay.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
I'm like typing in the middle of typing. Sorry. Sorry, I'm running around. How are we doing? Kind of the same thing.
Okay.
Especially with the limitation of numbers.
Okay. What are your numbers looking like there? Have they done a square foot dependent or given you a hard numbers?
Hard numbers. So
Okay.
15 is the max we can have in a classroom.
Okay. 16 is your max size.
Yeah, yeah. So we'd have 20 for preschool and pre-K and all those rooms, and school age we have big school age rooms, 30. We can't have that. So it's.
Oh, that's right. School agers used to go up to 30. Are they
Correct.
15 as well? Only 15?
Correct. Yes.
Oh, wow.
So even if we have the people wanting to come back, we're telling them, no, we can't, we don't even have the room right now. So
Okay.
Or Aretha's in Delaware.
okay, I was
Yes.
just wanting to know where the difference. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
Delaware.
So
Great.
what it sounds like is because of the restrictions right now, max sizes and ratio changes are even guiding your decisions to furlough, to bring staff back on, because if there's not enough space, what would they be doing? Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and we're trying to keep them busy. We actually have them back, and we've gone through the whole PPD, whatever it is, but
Okay.
but they are giving us what's called an enhancement grant, but it does start next week, and that enhancement grant is also based on we have to have all our staff working.
Okay.
What is it doing?
Laura, could you ask your question again?
I was going to say, Aretha, what are you doing? Because if I had to hire back 10 or 15 additional women that are on furlough, we would be sitting around, not me, but they'd be sitting around looking at each other right now.
Yeah, we're trying to keep them busy. We've had them do stuff. It's crazy. Yeah.
What kind of
Like in our
tasks
infant
are you
room, we
giving?
have 3 teachers in our infant room with 5 babies. We're doing like a 1-to-1, 1-to-2 ratio.
Lovely.
But we're fixing it. That's going to change because the money stops next week. So
Okay. So do the staff understand that there might be changes to their schedules and their information based on the ability to, continue the enhancement grant?
we're going to, yes. We've been talking with our directors, but yes, we make sure our teachers understand that. We've been letting directors like, hey guys, it's coming to an end. It's coming to an end.
Okay.
We're
So
money.
you're thinking about how you want to
Word that.
staff know that sensitive
Yes.
information
Yes.
and not be it's already going to be a little bit of a surprise maybe, but for them not to have a super shocker, just
Right.
in one day. Okay. So definitely. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like the next problem, these are 2 very closely related issues. Have you assessed your team, your school? We have your email now, Jen. Oh, and the location for readiness. And so it sounds like you've been assessing. Aretha, you're in a constant. You're both. You're focused on a little bit different things. Aretha, you're focused on keeping the folks a little busy and their finances right now. And it sounds like, Linda, your focus is you're moving towards the social emotional readiness and that kind of assessment. Okay. All right.
Same time, we're still expanding week by week. I didn't have the same problem with Aretha where I had to figure out who could come back because enough parents were either fearful or their job situations had changed that my normally I have about 130 children in the building. The first week we opened, I had 25. So I never had to like pick and choose who could come back. And they're slowly, you know, now that we've been open for 3 solid weeks and parents are seeing it's going okay, we're having every Monday steadily 3, 4, 5 more families re-enrolling.
Okay. Okay. So I don't think that that's part of my slides today, but I just want to mention that if you did have a situation where you thought there was a positive test, need to prep PR or anything like that, our team, you remember you have PR crisis with us, and if you did need to work on those kinds of things, just give us a call. We have had schools who've taken a proactive step when they had a child that needed to test or did test positive and then it ended up being negative. Whichever way it goes, our teams are ready to help you handle that kind of stuff as far as being ready and working with your parents and delivering that kind of news. They've got it all worked out. So if something, I can't say unexpected, but if something unfortunate, you know, with the testing and all that happens, just let us know. Okay. All right.
One of the things too, and I know we're doing in our centers now, just because of obviously more kids coming and, you know, the issue keep coming up. Have you, and I think, Viv, I don't know if this is touching into the slide about being ready, do you guys have your plan in place if a child does test positive?
Yeah, the state
I do.
Go ahead, Aretha.
Oh, well, we just actually had a child test. Well, not a child, I'm sorry, a teacher. I'm sorry.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So
but we
how
ended
did
up having
that
to shut
go?
down. Yeah, they tried to shut down our whole center, and we said no. The teacher only went to one class for 2 days, and specifically right to that classroom, but they had brought another classroom over. So we ended up shutting 2 classrooms because of that. But it actually went well. The parents were so wonderful. And I think it's because we tried to really communicate with them and let them know ahead of time how we were going to handle things if a teacher or a child tested positive. So
I'm sorry, go. So what was your ahead of time plan, and did that roll out the way that you wanted it to?
You mean as far as
if someone does test positive or has been exposed?
It worked out well because we had typed up and given parents a plan of action of what we would do like go. So they already knew what we would do. So what happened was the teacher came in and said, my husband tested positive, so I'm going to get tested. So we're like, okay, you need to stay at home. And then this was on a Monday. Then on Friday, she found out her results. She tested positive.
Okay.
We notified the entire building, even though it was only 1 classroom, 2 classrooms. We notified the whole center. And then we contacted the health department. They contacted us back on Monday and said, hey, close your whole center. We're like, no. And we convinced them. They're like, okay, yeah, only the 2 classrooms. We let the parents know they had to quarantine for 14 days. And they were like, oh, well, we were, you know, we're surprised this didn't happen sooner than now. You know, we will quarantine and look for any signs. Thank you. We didn't charge the parents, which we told them we wouldn't charge them if we had to shut down. And now everybody's back. They could come back as of yesterday.
Okay, very good. So what I'm pulling out of your story is that tight control over the movement of students and teachers throughout the center was able to save you from having to close the entire center. I just got to put a big star about that.
Teachers to go to other classrooms and visit. You go to your room.
I just wrote no visiting. Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
Wrote no visiting. Yeah. Okay. How about you, Linda? Laura, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So we also have very strict policies of no one leaves their room once they get to it. Okay. But Rita, I'm amazed that they wanted to close you and you said no and it was okay, because Massachusetts is a little bit different. I wouldn't have any leg to stand on. If they closed me, it would be, you know, sorry. That's just the way it is.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So we haven't had a situation yet where somebody in the building has gone out for testing, but we do have extreme protocol in place. And if a test comes back positive at that point, so for a teacher, a parent, an adult child, it's out of my hands. The Board of Health takes over.
Oh, okay.
Them up with an advocate on the COVID team from the state of Massachusetts, who then takes over who can do what and where. So,
Okay.
and then, yeah.
Wow.
Really,
Okay.
yeah, Massachusetts is, the contact tracing here program has been amazing. So that's also like Aretha, once you get into a room, you don't even pass another class in the hallway. We have the playgrounds are one group at a time, and we're using different doors so people aren't even like passing through the doorway together.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had one question to ask you both, and it's an operational question because I'm curious. How are you delivering lunch and meals? How are you getting the meals to the kids without, I just want to call it cross-contamination kind of thing. How are you getting the food into the rooms and the stuff back from the kids? Just operationally, I'm so curious.
So we have a cook who, when we provide breakfast, lunch, and snack every day, and children don't bring their own food in for allergy reasons. And so she's kind of, the cook goes to the door and hands off the food to the teacher that way. She doesn't physically go in the classroom, and she gives them each, 2 big bus pans. And at the end of the meal, they put the bus pans right out in the hallway, kind of like in a hotel when you're done with your room service tray, and who goes around and picks them up that way.
Oh, I'm going to call that room service style.
I like that. We do the same thing, but that's a cute name. I love that.
You're going to see that in a training or write up somewhere. Room service style. Bring your bin, make your order, bring your bin, they pick it up and they go, and there's not an entry and going that way. Okay. So that's working for you too, Aretha?
Yes, same thing. We have a cook at every location, and she puts it on a cart, rolls it to the entryway, hands it off to the teacher, and never walks in. I love that though. Room service style. Okay. All right. Let's move on to our next slides then. It sounds like you are on top of the game. I thought I'm gonna have to give tips and tricks, and you guys are teaching me new stuff. Okay, so this question is specific here. Are you and your admin using the system? If you haven't been, there's not going to be a punishment, but it's time to start asking yourself, are you using the system? Are your new staff taking the training? Does your admin team know how to do it? Do they know how to e-assign? Do they know how to check for completion? What should you assign next? And do you need some hub seats? Do you know how to access the hub or do your admin know how to get through email access? Ask yourself these things, and if not, you know who to reach out to. It's me and Jen to get you set up or retrained or newly trained or trained again, okay?
No, it's been good. We used the 14 weeks of closure to get a lot of the paths done by a lot of our staff. Including, the COVID course that you guys had, and then we, one of you, I forget which one of you, put our new COVID addendum to our employee handbook. And we had teachers, all the teachers went the 2 COVID trainings on Inspire Care, and then the state had an additional one.
Okay, okay. Aretha, how about you? I think, Laura's talking about, I put a COVID, like a federal COVID addendum on, in the handbook course. I can put one in on top of your course as well. Your handbook itself will stay the same, but it'll be a page that they see when they log in to take the handbook course, and it's for an expiring, the COVID-19 federal, I'll just call them benefits. They expire on December 31st of this year. So everybody doesn't put them directly in their handbook. Some people put a wraparound page just in the course, and people see that page. So if you want something like that, I can put a similar one in your.
Can I see it? Yeah.
Yeah. I can send you a link, and then you'll see what it looks like.
Okay, perfect.
So what I'll do is I'm going to pop it in there. I'll make a copy of your course and pop it in there so only you can see it. And if you want that one then to be the true one, I'll just replace it.
Okay, awesome.
So we've been talking a bit about really what Jen and I call jumpstart and stay strong plans. And we were talking about how are you updating folks? How are you communicating? It sounds like there's postings on walls, there's information to parents, there's notes, there's letters going out. You're probably communicating electronically through your electronic parent systems and if you have a marketing system through there. So keep those things up, but don't forget to use your hands-on things that are, things that people look for at doors and bulletin boards, even though parents aren't physically coming all the way through your centers anymore. Make sure you communicate your training and development plans. If you need to revise or work on your job aids that connect to your courses so that your employees can see them, now might be the perfect time. Both of you mentioned that you're trying to keep staff busy. If you've got some staff who are familiar with your forms and your procedures, give that person my email and assign them to me to work on these job aids for you behind the scenes. That's all you have to do. You've got a lot of people that need something to do right now. A lot of your teachers may have a degree, know how to edit, know how to do all this stuff. Your admin might be busy. To work on a job aid, just send me that person in an email. They can do this work, okay?
And when it comes to updating and communicating with your families too, we do, if you have new policies for them to follow or want, and I know you guys can update them through your email systems, but you also have the ability to do your parent classroom through your online classroom. We just had a member a couple weeks ago, because of the unknown with schools in their state, she wanted to get surveys out to her families on if they were interested in a private kindergarten class or a remote learning class. So she went in and she was able to create that, and she had her parents uploaded into a parent classroom and send it out through there. So then they could track the responses to see what their next steps were going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Jen, we've been doing exactly that. Jessica has been amazing with the surveys because
Awesome.
if I should be starting to think about a private kindergarten, and it's looking like, yes, I should be.
Yeah.
So I was listening to it was over my headphones, so I wasn't watching it because I was driving. But I was listening to some of the things that parents and folks are asking for, and just what Jen said, they're looking for private learning classes or hybrid classes. And as some schools are sending children back maybe on a staggered schedule, schools are amending their school age programs, and they're changing their school age classrooms around so that there is, I don't want to say less free time, less playtime, but that there's a concentrated person in the room to assist the children with their online learning, because the way that the children are learning is really changing, and the expectations of what they need to complete every day. So where before for school agers, we just had half an hour, hours worth of homework help time. It's not just homework help anymore. It's truly, you need tablet areas, you need tables, you need electronics, you need plugs and cords and all this kind of thing so that they can access their remote learning. So definitely something to think about if you're going to expand your school age learning programs. My last item there on that Jumpstart, you can stay there, Jen. Jumpstart and Stay Strong was really just, are you cross-training anyone? Are you promoting somebody? Don't wait until something happens and someone says, hi, Rita, hi, Laura, my dad tested yesterday and now I can't, I'm out and my kids are looking sickly, and now you've got at least 14 days, could be longer if someone is really sick, where that key person is missing. Cross-train folks. They don't have to cross-train for every single item in a position. Get them going to know the most important things and promote them or give them that information in advance. Don't wait until it's a big problem, okay? All right, let's move on. And don't you love that boy with the magnifying glass? I thought he was so cute.
Yeah.
All right. Remember, when you're doing things, start at the hub. I know both of you know how to get to your hub, so I'm not going to quiz you where's the hub today. All right. We have new courses for you guys, and so I'm so excited. These courses are already in your classrooms. They are available. This class here is for staff and teachers. Let me check the time. Oh, we're good on time. You can click right on that. We had a PR, crisis communication planning course for owners and administrators. This one is for staff. Because the question is, when something does happen at your school, do the staff talk to the people? Are they supposed, is the teacher supposed to say something? What do they say? When do they say something? That's what this class is about. Let's take a couple of previews in it. Click start, Jen.
That's such a, because I have teachers saying, I don't really know what to say.
And sometimes you don't want them to say something.
Right.
That's very true.
Let me know at any time if my screen doesn't follow with the sharing.
So just click next and we're going to forget about these instructions and just go next till we get to launch course. Oh, we went too far. Because it's mine, I've already touched it. Yeah. So I already passed it 1,000 times. Click on there, and I see we have a.
Are you seeing launch course?
I see it's coming.
It's spinning. Yeah.
It's spinning.
This is really interesting.
Okay. Click start course, and I think I might have clipped the wrong one into this website. Here we go. So basically they learn what's the communication plan, how to manage them, creating it, and what should they say. The most important things are that your staff is learning what their role is, when they should speak, what they should say, and it's helping you to devise this information on a level for your staff to follow. Of course, the levels that your admin follow are quite different. That's who speaks to the media. That's who gets something going on social. That's who makes a press release. But your staff will learn in their version of the class, what do they do? Okay.
Can you still see me going through the course?
So check that out. You can assign that one to your staff, especially in today's days where the crisis could happen this afternoon at 4 o'clock. So we can buzz out of that one. Again, it's for staff. You guys have that class in your classroom already.
Yeah, I see it. That's awesome. I'm going to send that out next week.
Yeah. So remember, on these courses, remember to look at the big plate of the big picture of the course, or to make sure you look at the whole course name. We've got a lot of courses that are coming down the pike right now for you guys that has similar information, and it'll be titled for staff or for teachers, and then it'll be titled for admin, for owners. So just make sure you tell your staff to take the one that's appropriate for their level, okay? All right, next slide. This one is my baby right here, and I love it. This, I have been working, Aretha, I had a note from you for some time ago about how terrible it is to try to get these, your new folks mentored. And I told you, I said, I'm working on it. They are done. What we have is
I know.
She wants to roll it out. We got to come up with that.
Oh, you're going to work it out. Okay.
Yes.
So what we have is we have 2 tandem courses. One course is for the mentor. The other course is for, we call it the student, but that's your new hire or your person who's being promoted. They don't have to be a teacher and assistant. This system works for both. So the mentor, theirs is called Working with Your Student, a course for mentors. And then for the student, Working with Your Mentor, a course for students. Let's take a quick look at Working with Your Student. The reason why I covered this one first is because, the first one, Jen, on the left, is because this one teaches your experienced staff who've been on the job, who know how to do it like the back of their hand, but they might not know how to mentor someone and teach someone. And I think that's what often happens. We have someone that's so experienced, they do this job with their eyes closed, but they're not well equipped to teach someone who's brand new how to do everything they know. So that's what this course does. It shows them, teaches them how to be a mentor. So they get a quick video about how to work with their student. And I tell them exactly how they are going to work with their student, that they both complete written and online work. This process is interactive. It doesn't happen in one sitting. It doesn't happen in one day. My feedback from folks who have tested it is that it's very robust, which is what I wanted it to be. On average, this is taking about 8 to 10 working hours. Now remember, this is not time where the person is only sitting with their pencil or typing on the computer. This counts time. It's countable time where the person is in the classroom doing it. They're being observed. They're getting a model. It's so totally what all my members have been telling me for so long they desperately need. So scroll down a bit more. That just more of how the course runs. They can basically pick up and resume. It starts off with a calendar for the mentor and the student to plan together. And they download that calendar and it shows them how to plan their dates out. Now, how you and the student will work together. This course combines online learning, face-to-face, modeling and mirroring, and chance for observation. It describes what is the mentor, what is the student, and then the benefits of having this relationship. So this lesson right here really describes in full for the mentor who they're supposed to be for the student, and in the corresponding student course, what that mentor is supposed to give to them and bring to them. Okay, the goals of learning are right here, and yep, and they continue to learn how to work together. Okay, now the next thing that they're going to see after they find out about how to work together is the actual tool that they will be using. It's a combination of online learning and in-class modeling, mirroring, observation, and recording what you've been doing. Yep, hit continue, Jen.
Babe, I love this.
I'm glad.
I know, isn't it awesome?
My classroom, I have you on this iPad and my classroom's right here and I'm going, where is it?
It's not in your classroom yet.
It's not released. You guys are getting the preview. That's why you got to log on Fridays. This one's not in there yet.
But Laura, if you wanted to test it out with a couple of your staff, we can get that set up like we're going to do with Aretha.
Yeah.
And we would actually just seek your feedback, and we're going to have an evaluation, like for you guys to give us your feedback on how it went. So if you want to jump on and do it, you can.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
So the next thing we have is called the Competency-Based Assessment Tool. The short name is called Learn, Review, Do. Why do we use competency-based assessments? And in this part, this is really important. This describes to both the student and the mentor exactly what they're going to do at each stage in the game. First, they learn how to do something, then they review how to do it, and then they do it, okay? So in each step of the game, you know, the first step, let's go with the mentor. The mentor provides accurate information, models the procedure, discusses the importance, and documents the learned session. In the at review time, the mentor checks for understanding, observes the skill being modeled. Now they're watching. They provide feedback and correction if needed. And again, they document the process during the review section. In the final step of the game, the do section, the mentor ensures that there's final understanding. They observe the skill performance. They provide a final rating assessment, and they document this final do session. In this next section here, I give an example of how Learn, Review, Do works. Well, first they got to figure out, are you a mentor or a student? And they go through that little activity. And if at the end, if they've gotten into the wrong course, at the end, if they answered, you know, they're supposed to be a mentor, but if they keep answering student, that lady at the end is going to tell them, hey, you're in the wrong course. Go get the other course. So on this section here, let's wash our hands and faces. This is a really simplistic example of Learn, Review, Do technique for let's wash our hands and faces. So in this one, you click on the bubble, click on the blonde girl's bubble first, Jen, because she's Learn. Oh, nope, scroll down, the blondie boy, he's first. So in the Learn section, This is how the course works. So you'll see these sections in each piece of the course. So learn, we're asking the mentor, have you pointed out and presented the procedure for hand washing? Did you converse about the process? Did you model it? Did you ask the student if they had questions and answer them? Did you complete the learn portion of the assessment? This would be all about hand washing. So in, let's say if hand washing was the task, it would say, did you point out and present the hand washing procedure poster? Did you converse about how important hand washing is? So you get it. Click on the blondie girl. Review. These are the kinds of questions that are at the mentor is asked when the mentor is moving through the course with the student. Has the student performed the skills several times independently? Not just watch you do it and sit back. Have all questions been asked and answered? Have you communicated your feedback to the student? We have a way to communicate written feedback. We want the feedback to the student to be verbal while they're doing it and written so that it's not forgotten. Have you completed the review sections of the assessment? Jen, I'm going to show you a shortcut. Click on the forward arrow next to review, and it'll send you to the next one. Do. The final step, have you met with your student to set a date and time for the final observation? Did you record your final observations? Did you answer each of the do scenario questions? That's the thing too, the do scenario questions, I'm going to show you some when we get in the course a little bit. And have you completed all sections of do form with dates and signatures? The do section includes space for the mentor to sign off on, the student to sign off on, and the supervisor to sign off that this is all complete for each of these sections. All right, let's move down to another area. I think you guys get it. It's pretty, this is a discussion that follows about the assessment tool, what to do, what happens at each area of the assessment. There's a flow chart. I find that this is very helpful to the mentors and that they don't just give a fast mentorship, they give a very complete and robust mentor experience, and they don't forget anything. So we can scroll on down and move to the next lesson. So this is all about how to use a tool.
Just because I'll forget if I don't ask a question. It's designed for the mentor and the mentee to be like on their devices together working through this, or can they be doing different parts of it on their own?
They can access the courses separately. They could sit side by side. The course titles are different, but they are in tandem to work along together. It certainly presents that the student can work independently in, learn it independently and work independently, but the learn, review, do, printable, that is completed together. That's how we get that accountability. And I'm going to we're going to show the actual learn, review, do form. Scroll down a bit, Jen. I think it will open for you. Oh, it tells you exactly there, completing the review, and tells you how to complete each section. They click and there's the assessment right there to download it, and then they can print it out and they can open it up. Going to open somewhere. I also give instructions about how to observe someone objectively, and those were those statements right there, so that when they're writing, they're not making subjective or biased statements. Even when someone does it all the way wrong, they should give an objective description. All right, continue. I might have to pull up the PDF from my computer so we could look at that last. Let's go over this position expectations and assignments. This is one of the first areas. And if you scroll on the left-hand side, Jen, if you just make the bar scroll up and down so they can see what the areas are. So position expectations and assignment, staff procedures and regulations, security procedures, child health and safety, routine cleaning, meal, rest, and activity routines. Each of these sections, the way it's formatted and what's presented is the same in each area. So there's an aspect of not only accountability, but expectation and familiarity when your student and your mentor are moving through the class. So first they get this intro about what they're going to do in this section and what should happen. and scroll down the little picture. Then, okay, so this is the learn part. So scroll back up, Jen, a little bit for learn. So learn. Mentor and student will discuss, observe, and perform each activity. So right now we're just working on position, expectations, and assignment. So click that first plus, complete a tour of the center, and introduce the student to the team. That's one of the first things your mentor or who should do. The mentor and student complete a full tour of the center. Now, these are questions that are posed at the mentor. Did you show the way to the office, your classroom, the outdoor space, blah, blah, blah? And did you teach them how to do everything? The next, choose any of these other pluses. And again, this is speaking to the mentor. So every step along the way, the mentor is being prepped to ask, did you do this? Have you done it all? In the student class, it's saying a very similar, it will say something like, students are expected to complete a series of courses. Did your mentor tell you what courses to take? Did your mentor check your assignments? Are you on track? Have you received certifications of completion? Things like that. So this one speaks to the mentor. The other one speaks directly to the student. In the review section is merely a review of the position information, and each one, the mentor or the student agrees by checking the box. So check it up, Jen, completed the tour, check everything that you did do with your mentor. And anything that you didn't do, don't check. So at this point, your mentor is confirming that they did all these things, or your student is confirming they did all of them. Jen, be sure to actively discuss and model each skill with your student as the student completes and begins to master the activities. Okay, so if they didn't select every single one of them, it's gonna tell them, you didn't fail, but you have to do all of them, okay?
If I do this one, I've not completed all the skills. Gives you the incorrect.
All right.
Better to get them complete.
So we're going to pretend Jen did do all of her work and move on. Now the do scenario, there's a corresponding written printable for every area, learn, review, do. The do area has what I call a do scenario. It presents a scenario to them. Click on that one. Okay, I'm going to read they can hear the scenario by clicking on that arrow and hearing me say it, but I don't know if we can hear. I might just have to speak it out. I don't know if we can hear online. Click, yep. No, we can't hear, but scroll down, Jen, and the text is also there. I can read it. Okay, here's the scenario. Your student arrives for her first day of work. When she arrives, she follows a friendly family into the lobby from outside. I'll have to talk to them about that. Inside, everyone is really busy, so she waits in the hallway for some time. She watches employees come and go quickly. Each one stops briefly at a desk in the office and then moves on. She is unsure of where to go for her assignment, and everyone seems so busy. As her mentor, what do you do? So you see each line I have built in. I built in things that should have happened. Let's choose same thing. Let's choose child health and safety, and let's go to their review or do and just check it out. So again, they're getting that quick overview of what's going to happen in this chapter. The learn. So click on any of those plus. Your student must know the location and contents at all times. What did you tell them? Where do they access it? Okay, so everything, the kitchen sink's in here. When you go down to the review, again, Jen, I know they've updated my imagery. I love it. Scroll on down. Now they're going to, do a couple of activities. They'll get to the review. Again, in order to have this totally complete, they need to agree that they've done every single one of them with their student. If they didn't, it's going to tell them that they need to. And again, they'll get a new do scenario. So let's click on some of these do's and see what I've come up with. Today, you and your student have a great creative activity planned. The children are eager to get started and ready to line up and leave the room. Your student wants to get started because the project will be completed both indoors and out. Your student hesitates because she does not have everything on the supply list ready yet, and there might even be some things she doesn't have at all. Your student suggests that you leave the class to visit another class to look for supplies. You remind your student to check the first aid kit. She says it looks kind of empty. She asks about the child with an allergy to bee stings and whether now is the time to give her special medicine. Just as you are about to answer her, another child announces to her that he needs to go to the bathroom in the hallway right away. What do you do? Okay, this thing is jam-packed with issues that happen every day. Your student needs to know how to deal with them, and your mentor needs to know how to teach the student how to deal with these things. This happens every day. So you get it. Moving on down, so each lesson works the same way. There's a learn, review, and do, and then there's a Quizlet at the end after they've done all the learn, review, do items. It summarizes it at the end, and then they're out of here. So one of the things I want to show is the printable. I may need to pull it up, Jen. It's probably open in one of your screens that's hidden somewhere.
You want me to just stop sharing so you can show it?
You let me pull it up and then I'll share.
Okay.
Because I want them to see how the sheet works. And there are explicit instructions both on the sheet and in the course how to use the printable. Because I know that that's always an issue when someone's like, how do we do this? So the instructions are very clear and very repeated.
I feel like, Biv, that this is going to revolutionize onboarding.
I hope so. I hope so, because like you guys, I know you heard me say, I've been doing this a long time, and we need a solution so that we don't have to recreate the thing every single time.
Well, this along with like the new hire paths and then the operational excellence, players come out of the woodwork after this.
I hope so. I just want to increase the, the ability for all of us to do this right.
Yeah.
All right, Jen, I'm ready to share.
It's all yours.
If I can find the share folder. Oh, share
Oh,
button.
no.
I got it. I found it.
No, I know, but it's Zoom. Hey, it worked.
Isn't this crazy? I think when it's higher than 5 or 6 people, that's when I can't do it.
It has technical issues sharing sometimes.
I do. People have to share for me. Okay, so this is the tool when they open it up. This is a learn, review, do printable tool. Here are the instructions. It tells the student what to do. It tells the mentor what to do. I'm going to increase this a little bit for everybody, including me.
Yeah, come on. I have old lady eyes.
Me too. I don't know why I'm pretending like I don't need these peepers. Okay, so it tells the student what to do, tells the mentor exactly what to do and exactly how it's being measured. Okay, so we're going to look at the learn section. So this is for the mentor. These are the dates they're going to put in. One of the first questions, whether the experience was new or old to you. The date your mentor modeled the technique for you. The amount of time spent modeling or mirroring the skill on that same date. Is it new or old? What's the model date, and how long in minutes did they spend with you? So this corresponds to every single portion of the lessons online.
Wow.
I'm going to skip the pages because I put them. This is actually the do section, part of the do section. I put them out of order because the review is so extensive, it throws people off. So the student due dates. Record the dates you were observed by your mentor, record your experience performing the skill, whether you received feedback, the date your mentor observed and assessed your skill, the final due date that was planned, and the amount of time spent observing the skill on the same date. Again, this is a different items that they're supposed to be doing. For the review section, this is where there's going to be a little bit more heavy lifting for both to fill out the sheets. After each activity, answer the questions about your experience reviewing and practicing, and rate your performance. So this one's our student, they're self-rating. How comfortable were you? Not much, somewhat, 100%. How competent do you feel? Not much, somewhat, 100%. And then do they have comments or questions? They might need time to sit, after lunch and think about what they did. Then they need to document the dates that they completed this activity on their own, and document the date that they felt they mastered it and they're ready for the final due assessment. Again, this one is pretty lengthy because it's every single area. Okay. Zoom in through. And again, so they get the entire packet, but remember the student and the mentor have their own portions to do. Now, this is where they are measuring what we'll call the do scenario answers. Remember that little do scenario where the parents followed, the new staff followed the parents right on in? This is where they would answer those questions. What do you do? So can they pick out from that scenario, what should they do? What should they say? Or are they like, I should do it right? And they don't pull that out. They don't give that to you. If they cannot fill out these do scenario answers, they might not see every single sentence when I wrote those do scenarios is chock full of something that's happening. They might not get every single one, but they should be able to identify a majority of issues that are presented in the scenarios. If they can't figure it out from a scenario, are they going to be able to figure it out in real life? So that is what is happening. They've got to answer those do scenarios for every single area. Okay? And that's learn, review, do. Okay?
Pretty exciting stuff, huh?
So I hope you guys will be in my my beta testers. Nice. Thank you.
I want to be a beta tester. So this might be also a question for Aretha. Who, obviously the student is the new hire. Are you looking toward mentoring them from a really well-trained senior teacher or an admin person?
We're hoping to use a senior, someone who's been with us for a long time, the teacher.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was thinking.
So really, Laura, this is to free up your admin so that your admin do not have to keep mentoring new folks. This is designed, that's why I wrote one for the mentors and one for the students. It is designed to teach your experienced teachers who know how to teach ECE how to teach an adult. So it should free them up. Certainly your admin, I would advise you take an administrator to admin and make one the student and one the mentor, and let them do it together so that they know both sides of the equation, and then even flip them around. But it's designed to build mentors, not continue to use your admin as mentors. They have other things to do.
Okay.
Yep.
I guess my only concern would be the amount of, I guess, the time getting people out of classrooms right now, because we can't really get them out of a classroom.
It's meant for them to stay in the classroom. So the part where they're doing online is meant for them to be able to look through fairly quickly, or during nap time, rest time, downtime. The other learn, review, do portions, clearly they have to keep their eyes on the children, but that's meant to be something that's on a counter, and when they're actually changing diapers, prepping meals, when they finish, they click it off. It's designed to meet our world where how can we study, how can we learn? We have to keep our eyes and ears on the children, 90% of our workday. There's no time to just go in a room and be by yourself. So it's meant to try to do that in tandem, train them and still care for the children at the same time.
Perfect.
But that's the life we lead.
Isn't it?
That's for sure. Awesome. Well, thank you both for joining us today. We are glad we were able to show this to you, and we will definitely circle back with both of you to be able to pilot the new mentor courses.
Okay.
I can't wait, because my My goal is I'll take both courses first. So
Right.
I can,
Okay. Very good.
so
Okay.
yeah.
Awesome.
I can probably send Laura and Aretha just links because it's not in the university quite yet. So I
Okay.
could send them the live links. I'll forward them to you, Jen, and then you can forward them on.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
All right, ladies. Well, have a great weekend, and we will talk to you later.
All right, thank you.